Father Godwin. Let's do this.
The blessings of our Lord be...
And with you, lad. Take a seat.
All right.
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything, but maybe we can work something out. But first, I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
I'm from Scouts, doesn't matter.
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about your kin?
They're dead.
They're dead.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. We had no warning. They just appeared and began the slaughter. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. The parents, the girl, even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. Then I fled to Townburg with the Cumans on my heels. They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There was a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rovno. Folk who tried to take refuge there, but
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanish to send that old grouch, Bernard.
He did send him. Do you think I'm not up to the job, Father?
He did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Uzhitz, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have to drink to that. Now the most important thing. What actually happened at Noyo? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
This time they weren't exaggerating. It's not important what happened there.
The rumors aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarreled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed. Dreadful.
Let's
well,
drink!
Then, here's to those poor
Let's
souls
drink
who
to
had
that
to die
this
so
guy. They
pointlessly
really are.
and so terribly.
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home.
I noticed you're handy with a sword. Let's get straight to the point.
I noticed you're pretty handy with a sword. I wouldn't expect that of a man of the cloth.
You know what they say. The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
But this is a bit more mysterious than others.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me to places where affairs were settled by force. These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise to keep me in shape.
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
I understand, but that means I've reached a dead end. Those cutthroats will strike again, and I can't stop them.
Chin up, lad. I might have a solution.
What?
If I tell you what Lubosh told me, I'd be betraying the confessional secret. But, first thing tomorrow, I'll try something I think might help you.
Word of honor?
On my soul.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your sermons?
Well, Uzhitz is in Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical. Condemning vices. And, of course, describing them in detail. A tongue-lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life, with a nice moral to them, are popular as well. especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Oh, I bet.
Can you give me an example?
Oh, Jesus,
Well,
Henry.
recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church. The lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison, and nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive fur.
Hey, don't call my mother a
While
whore, you
Jesus
asshole. It's my
Christ
mom.
walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Well, this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
Jesus.
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticizes the Pope for debauchery?
No, I don't.
All right, that's a
What do you
simple
think
answer.
of this Jan Hus?
He's certainly a wise man. A little overzealous for my taste. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. Things that make them angry. And they're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words, the people will rise up, and the church will be shaken to its very foundations.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake first.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university in Europe.
All right, enough of that.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. It's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
Oh, God, I'm
What do you
starting to slur.
suppose? We have a drink, of course.
Jesus, this guy's a drunk.
That sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
You've reached a new level in drinking. Yes. Oh, we're gonna stumble out of this bar super fucking drunk. Oh, girl, what's up?
Na kraj padł desej smutek, do mnie i rano utek, dzięki małżeński majsa, do wczera żyrne staje krak, już sej boi słaby murzyn, nie chciał tych bejbie i kurzy, na jedno, a kasyramy jedno, a pożerem się gubi jako poslední den, půjde se baví, a do rana staví, a tak býval sudný, a posaď se mi sem, tak posaď se sem, a vypál je ven. Ukaž kozy jako vozy, zítra jedu soudejden, tak nalej mi hned, ať točí se svět. Ty dneska vůbec nikdo neví, zase zítra Ježíš je
Oh, God, I passed out.
Enough of this.
Bailiff,
Oh,
come
no.
over here, sit down and have a drink
We're gonna
with
be
us.
so drunk.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk. and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can ride is me.
Enough! Men,
Damn.
Throw them out.
Savage. Uh-oh. We made a... Damn it, this priest got us in trouble now. He didn't even throw me out. Just the
You looking
priest?
for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Sorry, Father. I have to fight him? Oh, you're being serious. Help Godwin. Oh, no. This is what I get for getting drunk. You learn music. Oh, God. Excuse me. I wanna fight this dude on the right. Thank you. Oh, what's up, bud? Come here. We're gonna keep fighting. Whoa there. Come here. Oh yeah, I got you, big fella. Yes! Oh, got it. Where am I?
I'd love to. And Henry, too, I'm sure. Right, Henry?
I'm about to have a threesome!
Godwin.
A
Are you out of your
foursome!
mind? What will people say?
They can say what they like. What do I care? What do they do to me? Watch the step, my dears. Careful.
Godwin, you're a buffoon.
Are you kidding me? I got drunk with a priest, and now I'm gonna have a foursome? Best night ever! Yes!
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
Oh, no, they actually mean we're... What the hell? G-Force? No, I don't want you right
We
now.
can do this, can we?
They actually are ringing a real
Get
bell. It's
ringing,
not a
wench.
foursome, guys. It was not an innuendo. Oh, God, it's the middle of the night.
This is wonderful.
What is wrong with this priest?
Ah, bloody oath. And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening.
Oh, I bet.
Godwin, you old...
Oh, shit!
Come here.
I did not expect this when I first started talking to this priest. Oh, boys, we're getting it. Oh, I'm glad we drank with that priest. Oh, God. Priest, we're still drunk. It's the next day. Meh. Meh. Priest.
Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Oh my God, dude. What a quest. What a quest. That was all to earn the priest's trust.
Godwin, you beast. Get up. Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards.
Oh, fucking hell. Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you?
What?
Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. Didn't we have a wonderful time?
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on my head. My guts. Oh, my poor suffering stomach. Oh, what was that woman on about? Before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something.
Oh God.
What have I forgotten?
Is it Sunday?
Where the fuck am I? What the fuck was it?
Where the fuck am I?
Mass. Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
What?
How? You're the priest. I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me. I'd like to help you, but you can. You can do the sermon for me.
Excuse me?
So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look. From what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. If the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
Are you serious? Well, now I gotta do it. Oh yeah, we got a new level of drinking, which means we have a drinking perk point. The confessional seal isn't sacred anymore. We'll never get away with it. All right, but I can't guarantee the result. Sorry, but I'm not doing it.
So all at once, the confessional seal isn't so sacred?
Don't mock me. I won't give you a second chance.
Well, all right. But I can't make any promises about what'll happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that.
I just give the sermon?
No need to drag it out. If it turns out well,
Oh, God.
I'll tell you what I know about Lubo.
I was inside of my own
Christ
face.
almighty. Fine then. We have a deal.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
Give the sermon in church instead of Father Godwin. Are you kidding me, Father? Good thing I got my DW. Wait, where are all my clothes at? This is what you want me to wear?
What's the matter with you? We have to start now.
Okay, I'm coming. Let me eat. I need to eat first. What is this little symbol? Drunkenness. I'm still... Shit. Alright, wait. We got some points. Warfare. Total fighting skill with weapons or unarmed. The more skillful warrior you are, the faster your attacks are, and the harder it is for an opponent to defend against them. Also, your weapons will be less damaged by attacking and defending. New perk points unlock at levels 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20, and we just hit level 4. You're able to unhorse opponents. Unlocks the ability to conduct feints in combat, which is what? What the hell does that do? You have a greater chance of drawing your opponent's blood. The more damage your sword, the greater your chance of poisoning your opponent when you hit him, even without poison applied to your weapon. If you do have poison on a damaged weapon, the chances of administering it are increased by half. Ooh, that's pretty cool. I don't know what this is. I don't know what feints is in combat. Conduct F-E-I-N-T-S? What the hell does that mean? I kind of like Rusty Edge. I'm gonna do that. I want to poison motherfucker. I already have him, actually. Wait, I have these all unlocked. Never mind. Doesn't really matter. All right, what are the drinking skills? Drinking skill makes you more resistant to the nefarious effects of alcohol. You'll be able to drink up to twice as much, and the after effects the next day will be lowered. Beer bibber. The beer you get is 50% weaker, so you can drink more, but wine is twice as strong and will make you drunk faster. It can't be combined with the wine bibber perk. Drinking habit. Under the influence of alcohol, your hand will shake 25% less, and your bow skill is higher by +2, but when sober, your hand will shake 25% more. I don't really want any of these. Whatever, I'll just do beer. Beer bibber. The beer you get is 50% weaker, but you can drink more. Hell yeah, I want to drink tons of beer. I ain't no wino. State of spiritual well-being that only the drunk himself can appreciate. Drunkenness comes on gradually, and its level is shown by the gold background on the buff's icon. It increases according to how much you've drunk. Up to the halfway point of the buff, your strength, speech, vitality, and charisma increase up to a maximum of +2. The closer you get to the halfway mark, the greater the bonus, but your conspicuousness will also rise considerably. Okay. Okie dokie. Well, we better do this, huh? Okay, sir.
Don't tell me.
I'm still drunk, sir. Everything's a little bit more saturated. Is this what happens when you're drunk? When you got the effect? I'm swaying a little bit. Oh, dude, I am not ready for this. This is not gonna go well at all. Oh God. Oh God. Jesus Christ, priest, at least walk straight.
Show up.
Look at him. He can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Just you wait.
Look at him. Mother of God. Any minute now, he'll throw up.
So I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
Oh God.
Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabiles a manus suas. Hoc facite in meam commemorationem. Brothers and sisters.
Is that the girl I banged?
You may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who's here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where, by the grace of God, was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching. I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So, Henry, you may begin.
Curious which one of them will cue first.
Listen, this is my first sermon, so begin the sermon confidently. Start a lengthy sermon, start a modest sermon. Confidently.
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church and how corrupt it is.
Boy has a cheek.
Wait, what? God stands at the head of the church. We are commanded to reject dissolute priests. It is not man, but God who is the ruler of the world.
One should not believe in the church, because the church is not God. God is above all things, and the church is but a means to salvation. which the prelates do not care to hear.
He's right.
There's a whole 8 people listening. Oh God, continues harshly.
It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, cumens, hunger, and chaos. The accursed wealth that the church is drowning in is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, take the bone and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay, and you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give themselves absolution.
For shame! Shame upon them!
Talk about the sin of fornication. Talk about drunk. They love fornication.
They live with harlots and keep concubines, even though only marital intercourse for the purpose of procreation is pure. If someone takes a woman or man only to satisfy their own lust, who seduces them to do so but Satan? And how much darker the sin if that man is a servant of the church? Who can turn his face to God, who fornicates and then puts on priestly robes?
Nothing we don't know about already.
Oh shit. Continue harshly, wordily.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you pay enough coin to Mother Church. What if the devil himself were to pay? Will the bishops tell us he too would ascend to heaven? And what about those bishops? They sin without remorse, and with the money grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants to pamper them. They play dice and garb their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had nowhere to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Down with the prelates. Away with them.
We're fortunate to have our good Father Godwin. At least he's a fair and simple man.
Who is talking? Criticize the prelates, but stand up for Godwin.
God sees what is happening on earth, and he is filled with righteous wrath that those who should seek the salvation of souls instead seek mammon and the idle comfort of lucrative posts. Blessed are the shepherds who share the poverty of their flock, who are as one with you and bear with you the burden of this earthly pilgrimage, who do not condemn your venial sins.
Oi! All honor to Godwin! Let him drink like one of us!
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
Boom! Completed. See? Hey, that wasn't hard. Oh God, maybe it was hard. Are they happy about it, or are they mad? Where did everybody come from? There was like 4 of you before.
The lad spoke well, considering what a soak he is.
He's right, that was.
The young man shouldn't drink so much, but the Lord's given him a silver tongue.
I don't suppose I'll ever get to Prague. He told him nicely.
Guys, I did it. Flawless.
Well, well, my boy, you have talent, and I can't deny it. And you pulled a thorn from my side. I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I noticed. I wasn't the only one.
Oh, what's to be done? I'll make it up somehow.
So, about our bargain.
Although it's a sin.
So gluttony and fornication.
God does forgive a penitent.
So, what did Limpy Lubos tell you? Was he at Neuhof that day? Who was with him? And where are they now?
Now, slow down. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that much.
Don't let me down after all I've been through. For you...
Well, now Lubos came to me shortly after it happened. His conscience was gnawing at him. And I must say, in the end, he turned out to be a better man than he looked. He said they'd been hired through some crony of theirs. And at first, they were just to steal some horses. But then it all turned sour and people started getting killed. And neither he nor his cronies wanted anything to do with that. So they fell out from the gang and fled.
Fell out? Yeah, there was a body found in the woods by Neuhof.
That would explain something. Lubos kept jabbering that he wasn't a murderer, that he didn't want to do it.
So I know that Lubos killed the murderer and he's dead too. The trouble is, I need to find the ones who are still alive. I need names and places. Did he mention any of the others?
Only nicknames. Talked about some fella called Riki from Ledechko. Pius.
Riki?
Timmy.
Pius. That lot are about as pious as I am ordained.
Nonsense. You would make an excellent priest. And anyhow, with your skills, you ought to be able to sniff out this Riki from Ledechko, right?
Well, we'll have to now. There's not much else to go on. Let's hope he's not hanging from the wall too.
Indeed. And I'd hate to be excommunicated for nothing. Anyhow, good luck. You watch out for yourself. These people clearly mean business. And I'd like to raise a tankard with you again sometime.
Yeah, I'll try. Although I'm not sure I'd survive another night of your debauchery.
And if anyone should ask, you heard nothing from me. I'll deny everything.
I don't doubt it.
Oh, I fucking like this priest. Bastard. He's a devil, man. He is a devil, but I like him. We got our info. The priest is now our friend. I saw you practicing with a sword. Do you have any work for me?
Do you have any work that needs doing?
My dear lad, I have more worries than I can bear. Another pair of shoulders would ease my burden. I have to deal with a local witch.
A witch?
The herb woman, old Gertrude.
Fucking
that
Gertrude.
devious hag who will stoop to anything. Like all herbalists, for that matter.
Oh, don't tell me. The cows are giving blood instead of milk, and babies are being born with 2 heads and a tail.
This is no laughing matter. Gertrude isn't evil. She just has peculiar ideas about what's good for people. A little bird told me she incited some Uzhitz women to witchery.
A little bird
A little
told
bird told you, did it?
You know how good people are at seeing the splinter in another's eye and not the beam in their own.
In other words, someone's been gossiping. What do you want me to do?
I want you to go and see her and find out what she's been up to. I know she lives in fear of the Holy Church, so tell her I sent you. That will make her talk and think twice about encouraging witchcraft. If you learn that she truly did involve folk in some foolishness, find out all you can and deal with it.
Sure.
Consider it done.
Good. And never fear. I'm a man who always pays his debts. You'll find Gertrude, the old herb woman, in the woods.
Playing with the devil. Oh, God. That's going to be risky.